Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Scotland. This is part 2 with Benula Hunting Estate. We are hot off the back of yesterday's success where I managed to take a nice cull stag, and I also got inducted into the Scottish hunting culture with a traditional blooding ceremony. On this episode we start out with some wet weather, and today it's John's turn to be behind the rifle and try his luck at getting a stag. Compared to yesterday, the weather is set in a lot more, and couple that with some tricky terrain, it makes both the hunting and the filming a lot more difficult. I nearly dislocate my shoulder, but John ends up being extremely lucky and takes a beautiful stag. Then we head over to day 3, where I head up in the snow and try to get one more deer on the ground.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Day 2 saw the loch looking a little different than the day before. We had a strong westerly wind coming in, which made it hard for the landing craft to beach. Lucky for us though, John is ex-Navy and good at handling boats. As you'll see later on, the weather is actually pretty calm now comparatively. It packs it in really bad and we get hit with some gale force winds and driving rains. The trip is about 11 miles up the loch, and it takes us about 30 minutes to reach our destination. In case you missed it or you hadn't seen part 1, we're joined here today by Rob and John. Rob is the owner of Benula Sporting Estate and John is the man behind the gun today. And of course we are joined by the champion Angus, who is the estate manager and head stalker for Benula Estate. As usual, we start the day off by trying a glass for animals. And just like the day before, there is no shortage of them. The plan for today is to head into the same areas we did yesterday. However, the wind has done a complete 180, so we're going to be coming in from the other side of the face. As this side has better tracks, we should be able to get the Argo most of the way up the side of the hill. But again, we do not want to go too far up because we risk spooking the animals. One thing I learnt on this trip is that the Scottish weather can flip on you in seconds, and then quite comfortably flip the other way. Today, this was going to be quite a major issue, as halfway into our hunt, which you'll see, we have to do a 180 and head back the other way. But for now, everything's going to plan. We've left the Argo behind us and it's time to head up on foot. After about a 45-minute grind, we get up onto the tops and it's the same memo as yesterday. Every little ridgeline we come to, we stop and Angus glasses. As luck would have it, this time he has already spotted some deer. Part of the tradition and ethics with stalking in Scotland is to try and get in as close to the animal as possible. It is called stalking after all. 150 metres is the magic number to try and get under, and this is what the guys are doing now. Everything looks to be going smooth. The hinds have sat back down again and they are looking very relaxed and content. All those hinds have sat down now, so
That's a good sign.
yeah, a real good sign. Yeah, he's just overwatching.
Yeah.
However, as they head up the hill, you might notice by looking at the grass, the wind has switched and it's blowing mine and Rob's scent almost straight at the animals.
Miles away from where we have to drag yours are.
Up and up they climbed. But little did they know, it was now a race against time to see if they could get in a shooting position before the deer got our scent. And unfortunately, they didn't make it in time. We grabbed all the gear and headed up to meet a very deflated John and Angus. But we only stopped for a quick bite and then pushed on to the next spot. But the further along we got, the windier it got, and it was starting to constantly blow on our backs now. But seeing how often it was switching, we decided to push on a bit and see if it would switch back. It didn't really change, but it did let up briefly, so we decided to look over into the basin, because you never really know your luck. And it just so happened that we did spot a stag, and we had to hurry up to try and cut it off. However, he was much faster than us, and blissfully unaware as well. With the wind now solidly on our backs, we decided to take a pause and rethink our strategy for the remainder of the day. And what a beautiful place to take a pause. This is a very unique part of the world, and a place that touches your soul. There is no way that film can do this place any justice. You really have to see the scale of this place for yourself. Harsh, rugged lands makes for some beautiful hunting. So the new plan is actually to double back across the very top and then head up north to another spur that we haven't been to yet. As you can see, we are now working our way across the top of another face, and the wind picks back up again. More intensely this time, it's basically gusty gale force conditions. We managed to find a little bit of shelter out of the wind and start glassing again. Sure enough, we managed to find another mob. However, the wind is terrible and these are not even an option. However, luck was on our side and some of that mob would run out of the gut and into a position that gave us a chance to put a stalk on. Yep, that's where that hind went around to. With light dropping fast, we had to hurry up and make a plan. The odds were not good, there were many sets of eyes and the terrain was far from concealing, but we had to try. Once we had climbed level with the mob of deer, Angus signalled for Rob and I to stay put. The odds were already slim, and having more people crawling out in the open was not a good idea. All we could do was sit down and wait. As we finished off the rest of our lunch, we had our ears peeled for the sound of any gunshots. And then we got the magic call over the radio. Yeah, so John smacked a nice stag over. We had to stay out of sight basically because it's too exposed here, you know. We don't want to risk blowing a stag out, so I'll catch you up about the story when we get to the stag. There we go, and 10 seconds later after stopping that video, John's found an area. Rolled down the hill, so that's good. It's gonna be a mission getting it out of here.
What?
Yeah, I just went for a escape.
Camera, what?
Hey?
Camera, what? Oh, the lens cap's off, mate.
Off what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I dislocated my shoulder a few times.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like I can still draw my bow. That's all I care about. Can I draw my bow still?
Sure hurt now. Oh shit, can I pull my bow back?
Yeah. Is that my bow career over? Rogie. So basically where I'm standing from here, that's where it's all rolled all the way down to. I know the video probably doesn't do much justice, but it's bloody steep. There we go. Congrats, John, that's awesome. What a nice stag. What a cracker, John.
Okay, so we saw a big group of Highland stags, in fact you can still hear them in the distance now, about 600 metres. Angus stalker spotted this big old boy, around about 300. We had to be careful with deer above us watching us, but we managed to walk in about 50 metres, and then on our bellies for the next 50-60 metres. Angus had a good look at the stag. Decided he's an older animal, going back slightly with missing points. So we decided to take it. Had to wait, and then the wind switched a little bit. Hind stood up, staring straight at us. Stag moved down the hill, then back up. Turned broadside, 185 metres, and put the bullet just behind his shoulder. Ran uphill with the hinds, and then started wobbling, and then basically ran down the hill about 100 metres and just fell over dead. But cracking animal, great stalk, and I'm really pleased, and obviously thankful to Rob and to Angus for taking me in. Thanks very much.
Well done, mate. Yeah, obviously today we've been out on the ground since 9 o'clock this morning. We've got into multiple stags, however none being presented a decent shot, or something kind of went wrong with the terrain behind or the wind switching on us. It's now 3:30, I believe, in the afternoon. We've got quite a long drag ahead of us off the estate. As you can see, pretty tricky terrain over to my right hand side. But yeah, he's a good old boy, and it was a good stalk. So well done, John.
Thanks very much.
So we just dragged this beast about 3 k's down to the edge of the basin now. We've got to go down, I don't know if you can see Rob, you can't freaking see the lens here, there he is. Down over that edge. And yeah, fun times. Good exercise. Huh?
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
It's not very nice.
No.
We've got that to look forward to.
Nice. So, I'm well and truly rooted now. I just went for another tumble, but that's alright. It's all good. Oh man, that's a mission that is, through all the bogs, over all the cliffs, over all the black rock. Oh man, I mean, I can work it out on a map afterwards, but I think we've probably dragged it out 5 k's or something stupid. All the boys in New Zealand watching this, you know, like, why don't they just cut it up? It's because they need to sell the carcass whole to the meat dealer, get money for it. So you can drop the guts out of it, and that's it. Not allowed to cut it up, otherwise they don't take it. So yeah. Would be easier though. Just put it in quarters and take a quarter each. Jobs are done, but oh well. bloody good experience, such a beautiful place, and I'm far from complaining, don't get me wrong. Actually really love some exercise and some hard work. Helps you find your character and stuff, and I haven't done it in years now, so that's good. But yeah, anyway, I think we're nearly down to the spot now where the Argo can get this, which will be good, and sit down and have a little nap probably. Oh, some more water. Yeah, what an awesome place, awesome experience. Tomorrow I'm supposed to go up and shoot another stag, but I'll have to see how my shoulder's doing. After that fall, it's all locked up. Sounds like a stag just there.
We got the stag down the hill and onto the boat using the Argo. Overnight, the whole terrain had changed due to it snowing. It was like a totally new environment. Even the trip up the loch all of a sudden required extra layers. Like yesterday, the weather would switch on us multiple times. The biggest change today is that because of all the snow on the tops, it's pushed all the animals down lower, so we leave the Argo down at the shelter and head up on foot. We managed to get into some deer, but just like the day before, the wind switched and they all blew out, which saw us heading down the hill empty-handed. So I will leave you with this beautiful sunset and John's amazing stag on the landing craft. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Rob, Kate, Angus and John for a great few days on the hill. I can highly recommend Bernula to anyone that wants a unique Highland experience.